Let's make these amazing chicken skewers. Start by soaking some skewers in cold water for at least 30 minutes so they don't burn in the oven. For our chicken marinade, we need yogurt to tenderize the chicken, olive oil, splash of lemon juice, small splash of vinegar, and that's another tenderizer, crushed garlic. Season with these listed spices written on the screen. Red pepper paste or tomato paste. Once it's mixed in, taste it. This is why we make the marinade before adding in the chicken so it can be adjusted. And mix. Marinate this for at least a few hours, but preferably overnight. Skewer it with some onion wedges in between. Bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Be sure you flip the chicken halfway through cooking so both sides get a nice even color. The chicken is now done baking. How beautiful is that? And there it is. Enjoy.
If you're addicted to bowling crab, this Cajun shrimp and polenta is for you. Start by adding coconut juice and garlic to a blender. Next, blend on high, then transfer to a separate container. Moving on to our sauce, add butter followed by sugar, paprika, cayenne chili powder, Cajun seasoning, lemon pepper, Old Bay, and the garlic coconut juice puree. Let it reduce by a quarter on low, season with salt to taste. For the shrimp, season with salt and pepper, add oil to a hot pan followed by the shrimp, saute for 30 seconds, add the minced garlic, and finish with our sauce. Next, plate it with polenta, our Cajun shrimp, top it off with some chives, and dig in.
Cooking 15-minute dinner for 15 days. Up a pack of onion, using shrimps and scallops today, but use whatever seafood you want. Up to medium hot. 2 tablespoons of butter. An onion. Saute the onion for 2 to 3 minutes or until translucent. And 2 tablespoons of flour. Saute together. And 2 cups of milk or cream. 1 tablespoon of dashi powder. Dash of white pepper. Simmer for 2 to 3 minutes until it becomes a thicker consistency. Add in our shrimp. Those are scallops for another 2 to 3 minutes or until the seafood is 80% cooked. With our cooked rice, teaspoon of chicken powder, eggs. Mix it all up together. Seafood sauce, some cheese. Boil it in the oven until the cheese gets nice and melted and it's golden brown on top. Look at.
Would you believe these delicious looking pancakes are 100% healthy and filled with whole grains? A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating just 3 servings of whole grains a day can achieve similar results to taking a blood pressure lowering medication. So basically, whole grains may work as well as drugs. However, unlike taking a drug, these pancakes have 0 side effects and are super delicious. Enjoy, and as always, the full recipe breakdown will be posted on my Instagram in the description.
Snickerdoodle edible cookie dough. 2 tablespoons of softened butter, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now cream those together. Splash of vanilla, a pinch of salt, about half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 cup of flour. Mix it all up. Add just a tiny bit of milk. This smells so good. This one smells like Christmas. Ooh, tastes like Christmas.
No Thanksgiving would be complete without the candied yams.
Your peeled sweet potato, slice it right about there. Start layering into your pan. I've got melted butter. I'm gonna add sage, bourbon, brown sugar, honey, cinnamon, nutmeg. Everything is incorporated. Just pour it over your yams. Cover these up. Into the oven. 30 minutes, take the foil off, baste it with all this liquid, and we're gonna put it back in the oven. And then every 15 minutes, just baste it. Yams come out, and then I'm gonna top them with hazelnuts.
Okay, this is gonna be my protein puppy chow recipe. It's more macro friendly than the traditional puppy chow, but it tastes so good. Like, you have to try it. So 5 cups of corn checks or rice checks. I'm using corn today, but that's like half a box. So for this step, you could do all PB2, but I just think regular peanut butter is so good. So I'm gonna do 1/4 cup of regular peanut butter and then 2 servings of PB Fit. So I made the PB Fit first, and then I'm just gonna add in the peanut butter into the same bowl. And then we're gonna do half a cup of chocolate chips. You could do dark chocolate chips, you could do the stevia sweetened chocolate chips, but literally I'm just using semi-sweet, for being honest. And then we're just gonna throw that in the microwave and get it melted down. And then once it's all melted down, just add it into the checks. And I forgot, add a tablespoon of coconut oil to the chocolate mix. It'll just make it better. It'll look like that. And then as the powdered sugar, do 3 scoops of vanilla protein. And then this is optional, but you could do a stevia or a monk-free sweetener if you just want more of a sweet flavor to it. And it looks like...
Happy soup season, everybody! It's finally time for my roasted tomato soup recipe. Start off by blackening your tomatoes. I use my broiler for this, but you can also bake at a high temp or just use your gas stove range. Give them a quick ice bath. This is going to help release the skin, and then begin sauteing your aromatics. I love using shallots, tons of garlic, and 1 celery stalk. Add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste to your roasted tomatoes and give them a quick press to release the juices before adding in all of your spices. Season with salt and pepper to taste, add 2 cups of stock or water, and cover and let simmer on low for 20 to 30 minutes before blending it, returning it back to the pot and adding in your Parmesan cheese and a splash of heavy cream. Warm it.
Oh, yes, sir. What's good, everybody? Today I'm gonna show y'all how I make my Cajun cheesy crab dip. It's super easy and super good. Let's get into it, baby. Quarter stick of butter, diced up yellow onion, stalk of celery diced up red bell pepper, dash of your Cajun seasoning, 8-ounce bar of Philadelphia cream cheese in your pot, about 6 ounces of sour cream, 16 ounces of lump blue call crab meat, and sweated vegetables and dump it in there. A tablespoon of your favorite Cajun seasoning. I use my Monterey Jack cheese. It's about this consistency. Go ahead and dump it in your baking pan. You got it in your baking pan. Go ahead and top it off with some Monterey Jack cheese. 350 degrees. 11 minutes. 11 minutes is up. Ooh, just look at that, y'all.
My take on chicken caprese. Add some oil. Let this heat up a little bit. Pat dry. Now we're gonna flatten these out. Season with some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Instead of crushed red pepper, I'm gonna do the Mom Cave Foods mild Aleppo pepper. You can use code TRAJA for 10% off your purchase. Go ahead and lay in your chicken. Cook for about 3 minutes per side. Baby, clean as you go. We're gonna cut up some tomatoes. Now for this, you can cut up any type of tomatoes you'd like. Set your chicken aside. Mince up some fresh garlic. In the same pan, add your garlic. Cook this until fragrant. Add your tomatoes. Now let this cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. Add more garlic. Hit it with some salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. I like to give the tomatoes a light little crush. We're just gonna tear in some fresh basil. That's stunning. Add your chicken back in. Cook for about 5 more minutes. Add some balsamic glaze. Mix it in there. Top with some fresh mozzarella. Cover and let the cheese melt. I'm gonna put this over some pasta. I'm gonna lay in some of those tomatoes. Lay my chicken on top. Hit it with a little bit more balsamic.
I'm making 5 meals out of 1 rotisserie chicken. My second meal is going to be chicken breast spring rolls. Slice up the chicken breast, dip the rice paper in water and let it soften. Layer your favorite vegetables, such as lettuce, cilantro, cucumbers. I'm using pickled daikon and radish, some vermicelli noodles, and then putting the chicken on last. Check my previous video to see how I make the pickled vegetables. Fold the rice paper in on both sides and then roll all the way down. To make the sauce, add 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of hoisin, and 3 tablespoons of milk. If it's a little thick, add some more milk and then whisk. If you'd like a little spice, add in 1 tablespoon of sambal or your favorite hot sauce.
Prepare this recipe tonight and I promise you'll thank me later. It literally only takes 2 minutes. So what you're gonna do is add a cup of oats into a container. Then you'll make a protein shake with vanilla whey protein. Add it to the oats. Now what you're gonna do is chop up a whole apple. Add the apple on top of the oats. Now for a little extra flavor, add a dash of cinnamon. It's gonna make it taste super good. Put it in the fridge for at least...
Tell me something better than a fresh chocolate chip cookie. Exactly, you can't. We're gonna make them. And there is a secret ingredient. 2 sticks of butter. Melt. The secret is to melt it until it turns brown. Oh yeah. Keep going. This stuff is liquid gold. Brown butter. Chilled butter. 1 cup dark brown sugar. Half cup white sugar. Get your anger out. 2 eggs. 1 egg yolk. Gotta get that vanilla. Mix, mix, mix. 2 1/4 cups of flour. Teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of salt. Oh my. 2 cups chocolate chips. Oh my god. The dough is the best part. Portion onto a cookie sheet. Freeze until solid. Bake at 375 for 9 to 15 minutes. Look at those. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and YouTube.
Making bread really calms me and I'm feeling pretty anxious, so I decided to make these soft and pillowy bao buns. To a half cup of warm water, add 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 packet of active yeast. Mix it and set it aside. Then whisk together 2.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. Then add a 1/4 cup of oil and the yeast water. Mix it until it just comes together, then knead the dough until it's soft and elastic, or about 5 to 8 minutes. Place the dough in an oiled bowl and let it rise for about an hour. Then roll it out into a 1/4 inch thick sheet and cut approximately 12 3-inch circles and place them onto parchment paper squares. Brush some oil onto the circle, fold it in half, and lightly roll it to seal. Cover the buns and let them rise again for about an hour. Then place them in a steamer basket, cover it, and cook it for 9 minutes or until they're soft and cooked through. I filled them with...
Today I'm about to learn y'all my fire rice. Onions, garlic, melt a stick of butter. As you're cooking your onions, add your Tony shenanigans, a little black pepper, and a little parsley flake. Come on. Add your rice, homemade chicken broth, bring to a rolling ball. Alright, when you bring it to a rolling ball, put it in the oven, 425, until it's ready. Oh, y'all check out this fire rice right here, boy. Look at that. Ooh-wee. You know it. I'd put that on a cracker too, dude.
Start with the rotisserie chicken, remove its thong, and separate all the meat. A little bit of olive oil, onion. After 5 minutes, add some sweet potato and regular potato. Add in 5 tablespoons of butter, along with a few frozen mixed vegetables. I'm being lazy. And coat them all with butter. You don't need very specific measurements for this. Just have fun with it. I promise it'll work out. Sprinkle in a half cup of flour. Now we'll add in about 2 cups, half and half, and 2 cups of chicken stock. Add in your chicken. Season with whatever you want. A little porcini mushroom powder, garlic powder, chili powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. Add your filling into an oven-safe pan. Lay a piece of store-bought puff pastry over the pan. Trim the edges, crimp with a fork. Place this in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes, then 350 for 20 more minutes. Now this is just plain old deliciousness. Golden brown, flaky, and delicious.
Tonight is the start of my Thanksgiving dinner series, and I'm starting with my favorite side dish, the stuffing. My mom has made this stuffing for years, and now I make it for my family. We're gonna start with a pound of ground pork. This one's from United Harvest. Brown the pork, chop up 1 onion, add 4 stalks of celery. Remove the pork. In the same pan, add 4 tablespoons of butter and the onions and celery. Cook till soft. Add 2 1/4 cups of chicken broth. Don't forget, you know what. I'm only adding a touch of salt because of the chicken broth. I go the easy route and get the store-bought bread cubes.
Empty the bread cubes into the bowl.
Add the pork sausage. Now add all the mixture. Mix it all up. Now the special ingredient. Dice up 1 small Honeycrisp apple. Add the apple to the mixture. Add it to greased baking dish. Cover and bake at 350 for 35 minutes. Oh my, enjoy with the delicious.
Today we're making Olive Garden's Up with Toscana soup, but 10 times better. This is my take on the soup. It's not meant to be exactly the same, but I wanted to share it with you guys. I started off with prepping everything that I needed. Minced 1 small onion, 6 cloves of garlic, and I also cubed 3 russet potatoes. Here I'm cooking some turkey sausage in some olive oil. Once it was cooked, I put it into a separate bowl. Once you've removed your sausage, you want to add a stick of butter. Saute your onion and garlic. After they sauteed for a couple minutes, you want to add in about 3 cups of chicken broth. Throw in your potatoes. You want to let it come to a boil, cover, and time it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you want to add in about 2 cups of heavy cream. Seasoning with a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper flakes, salt, and black pepper. If you want the same look as the original soup, skip this next step. But I mixed some water and cornstarch together and added it to my soup. This is going to make it more creamy. It's just the way that I like it. You want to add in your sausage and about 2 handfuls of kale. I ended up adding another teaspoon of each seasoning, but finished off my soup with bacon and Parmesan cheese.